So regarding the Wonder Woman deal, like I just don't understand his point with the objectification of women. It makes no sense. I think that was it was an asinine statement because he goes on comparing it to Sarah Connor and the Terminator movies. Those are two completely different characters. Apples and oranges. Wonder Woman was a story about Diana Prince finding a way in the world to save mankind from itself and dealing with the destructive forces that are looking to wipe out all of humanity and doing it with grace and love and actually being a strong female character, a great role model for children and for women all over, for girls all over. It just made no sense, and to me, it just felt like it was some sort of. To me, I felt like he was just trying to keep his name in the limelight again, and for that kind of the man is entitled to his opinion. I'm not going to take that away from him. The man is, like I said, he's a critically acclaimed filmmaker. He has quite a few movies under his belt, notable movies at that, classics at that, that will always be recognized, that will always be remembered, they will always be revered. But it just seems more and more so because it started off, I guess, with the Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and then his criticisms about that, and he had a certain valid points, but for what it was worth, it was still a great feature. Now it just seems like he's with the comments made regarding Wonder Woman, I just think he's just reaching. And honestly, that's exactly what it sounds like. The man is reaching. Why? I don't get it. This is a great film. This is a great concept. This is perfect. This is what the country needs right about now. This is what the world needs right now. A female hero, a female heroine who's actually out there and just embodying that role model, that image of being a role model. And it really was off-putting for me. And at some point I'm just starting to think to myself as I'm reading these comments online, and I'm like, man, what's going on with this dude? Is James like slipping right about now, or because it sounds like he's hating off the fact that this movie was successful for what it was. Okay, granted, yeah, I know he had so Terminator did it definitely portrayed Sarah Connor as a strong female lead, but she wasn't the main character. Even in this, well, let's be honest here. Both films, the first two Terminator films, basically, they were centered around Arnold. They were centered around the T-800. They really weren't. She was part of the main plot. She was definitely a main character, the female lead of the film. But realistically speaking, the movie really centered around Arnold Schwarzenegger. Both, even the second film, still centered around Arnold. And if anything, it showcased more his relationship with her son, played by Edward Furlong, rather than it did with her. She had an important scene here and there, especially that moment, that powerful scene where she's having a dream and she's witnessing a nuclear explosion happen in front of her, and where she's banging on the fence and you see her disintegrate. That was a hell of a scene. But it's like I said before, apples and oranges. Where does he, and it leaves me with the reaction of where does he come off? Where does he get this? Who does he think he is? You know. So with that, it just to me it just seems like at this point it sounds like it's more and more coming off like he's coming off like a bitter person. And hopefully he can get out of that funk. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because the development of Avatar isn't going as well as he wanted it to go. God knows what it is. Who knows? But hopefully he can get out of that because it's starting to look bad. You know, in my eyes anyway. And seriously, but all in all, it doesn't make sense to me as to why an established filmmaker like that would go on record and say the things that he said. I guess maybe just to get some sound bites or God knows what. But I have faith in you, James. I know you'll get out of this eventually. um, but as far as I'm concerned, as far as the DCEU is concerned, I just want to see a lot. I just want to see these movies taken more seriously. I have to be honest. Outside of Wonder Woman, it's not really been too good. Man of Steel was a pretty good feature. It was good. It was a great movie. Honestly, to me, I loved it. I really did love it. As a lifelong Superman fan, it was finally time, high time, we saw Superman actually involved in certain, in some action. And for some reason, Dawn of Justice just dropped the ball. It literally dropped the ball, and now I'm seeing that I read also somewhere that they actually, Joss Whedon actually cut Lex Luthor off of Justice League. So that's a little, that's a little interesting. Then he fired Junkie XL and hired, but then I was actually happy about it because he replaced him with Danny Elfman, and how much better can you get with Danny Elfman? I mean, hello, Batman. Batman Returns. The man composed the feat. He composed the soundtrack. The original soundtrack for that, for both of those movies. The man has a stellar record from that to Beetlejuice to Edward Scissorhands. Hell, even the Pee Wee movie, Pee Wee's Big Adventure. That's all him, and he's an excellent composer. So I cannot wait to hear what he has for Justice League in store. Um, and hopefully it turns out to be a fantastic film. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with the announcements for Shazam. Who are they going to pick for Billy Batson as well as the adult Shazam? I have no idea. Wondering if they're. I'm thinking at this point they're probably just going to go with a relatively unknown character, an unknown actor at that. But who knows? It's just all about the announcements officially, and considering what the work is, it's considering the amount of time that's left of the year. I mean, it's not much. Hopefully they get everything in order because if they're planning on starting, because supposedly Shazam is supposed to start filming sometime early in 2018. And who knows how long that's gonna? That's not enough time for an actor to get his body in peak shape for a movie like that. But I guess we can just wait and see so far as to what's going to happen with it. And also, I wanted to touch up on Injustice 2. Great game, by the way. I love the follow up. Um, However, what's missing is just, I don't know. Is it just me, or were they missing some stages? I mean, the first game had a whole slew of stages that were just awesome. And yet, for some reason, part two seems to be light. I don't know if the level, I don't know what the fight stages are, but they're missing some. There's not a lot of stages to have in the game so far. The DLCs look awesome. What I can do without is the inclusion of Mortal Kombat characters. I understand that Warner Brothers bought NetherRealm Studios, which produced the Mortal Kombat games now. But in all honesty, keep the DLCs DC related. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got enough characters on the roster, but if that's the case, if you're gonna go all out and keep adding DLCs, then by all means add a bunch, keep it all DC. Hell, if you have Blue Beetle, why don't you put in Booster Gold? If you're gonna have Booster Gold, why not Hawk and Dove? If you're gonna have Hawk and Dove, why not have Captain Atom? You know, and or Kid Flash, or putting Kid Flash, or even Reverse Flash for them. Oh, actually, Reverse Flash is in the game if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I played, so you gotta forgive me. And I just recently bought it myself. So, but yeah, like I want to see the DLC character. I just want to see the DLC strictly for DC characters only. It'd be nice, I understand that the novelty of it all, of having certain Mortal Kombat. You want to have a Mortal Kombat character in there, just have one. I'm fine with just one. But don't end up putting Raiden, Scorpion, Sub Zero, Cyrax, Johnny Cage into the mix. They have no reason to be there. They're not DC characters to begin with. Why have them there? It makes no sense to me. So please, Ed Boon, just if you're listening, if you're watching this, by all chance, can you just keep the DLC strictly within comic continuity, not going outside? That's one of the main things I'm begging for you, But great game, excellent game. And if you're gonna add more, another suggestion for DLCs: add more stages. That's all I want. Just more stages, please. It seems a little light on this one. That's all I'm saying. But other than that, it's been a great game. I love it. It's awesome. It's definitely worthwhile to pick up. So if you have the chance to, when you have the means, make sure you get one. If you're gonna get the Ultimate Edition all the way through and through, and it sucks that everything now has to have an Ultimate Edition. You know, you can't just get it all in one game, but I guess it's the manufacturer's process.